Hey everyone, this video is a requested one actually. A friend of mine asked me to do some, I don't know, comparison, I guess. Maybe this is more than what she asked for, I don't know. I'm going to do it this way, and hopefully this helps for some of you folks who are into stitching and felt kind of crafts and using dyes, because that's kind of where I've been focused on. Um, and so I purchased felt from a couple of different craft places. I don't purchase mine from the big box stores simply because the quality of their felt isn't what I look for. Because when I create projects out of felt, I like to gift them to people that will hopefully have them for years to come. You know, as ornaments on trees or as tags, and something that they can keep as a keepsake. So I want to just kind of show you the different types of felt that I have, not types but brands, or where I purchased from, and then also do some die cutting with them as well. Because I think the quality, it's not just the felt, but the quality, the dye, the way it's designed, will also have some impact on the felt and how much success you have with it. So I'll mention hopefully a couple of those things along the way, and this might be more than one video. I don't know yet, but we'll see. Okay, so mainly what I like to purchase is wool felt, and I know some people have allergies to felt as well. So, you got to do what you is right for yourself. I don't have any issues with felt in terms of it being wool versus acrylic, and being allergic to it. But I personally prefer the wool felt because I think it's a better quality. When you die cut it and you stitch it, I think it's nicer as well. So I have a couple of different brands. I believe most of them are wool. Some of them are a wool blend. Okay. And so you may not be able to tell that difference by looking at it or by feeling it, but sometimes it also comes out when you stitch with it. Okay. So this is a sheet of felt, and you can buy them in sheets or you can buy them in rolls like this. Okay. So I'm going to just tell you, this is a sheet of felt that I purchased from Ellen Hudson. She will often have sales of her felt because I don't think it's the focus of what crafters come to her store for, and maybe that's why it goes on sale enough for you to purchase. But her, you can buy them as collections. This is the ornament collection, and she will include the matching floss in DMC floss that goes with that collection, and that's what I purchased here in this case. So this, I believe, is 100% wool. So it's in a color family that she put together for making ornaments, okay? And I believe it's 100%, but don't quote me on that. You can look that up in her store if you're interested. This is another sheet felt, and this is from a store called Benzie Design. I think they're in Ohio. Now, this felt is not 100%. I think this is a blend of wool and acrylic. They now carry 100% wool felt as well, though. And I'm going to hold these two sheets up so you can see the thickness between the two. And honestly, by looking at it, you may not be able to tell, but by my naked eye, with just holding these two sheets together, I think the one on the right, the greenish yellow sheet, is thicker. You guys can look at that and tell for yourself, right? That's, does it make a difference in the stitching? I've never stitched with the Ellen Hudson felt. I have stitched with the Benzie Design felt, and it's fine. I don't have any issues with stitching with this felt. Sometimes you need a certain color. This set of colors is not like a color coordinated set. It is something that I was gifted from a crafty friend, or friend, sorry, that I met up with years ago, and she knows who she is. If she watches my videos, but I got this set of felt. She's been to the Benzie store because she lives in Ohio, but she gifted me this set of felt here, of sheets of felt, and of course, I thank her for it. I still have lots of it to use because I have purchased. Benzie actually has yardage of felt. So if you're not interested in purchasing by the roll, which some people aren't, you can purchase sheets in different sizes, and you can purchase yardage for larger projects. I don't have that large of a project, so but I do have a lot of their felt. So yeah, just so you know, sometimes you want a different color and it's not carried by whatever store that, you know, has them in the rolls or whatever. You can go searching and find lots of different qualities of felt. Benzie is a great distributor of felt. They probably get it from, you know, a wholesale place. Ellen Hudson has different colors. And then, of course, this is the brand that someone was asking me about. This is also Benzie felt here. You can tell it's in a sheet. I was looking for one that is a gingerbread color. This is, I don't even know what color it is. I had it tagged at one point, but it came off. This is great for using for gingerbread. So, you know, sometimes you just want that perfect color to go for your project. So, if you look at the thickness of this felt, you can see, let me see. If I were to say thickness-wise, this one on the left, again, is still thicker than the one on the right. And I think this one is from Benzie again. And don't quote me on that because I don't even know the color. But a lot of places will have a swatch book of their colors, and you can buy the swatch book. Now, this is the felt that I was asked about. This felt comes from Pashta Design. She sells them in color families for her kits. So when you buy her kits, sometimes you can buy the entire kit, or sometimes you can purchase just the color family separately if you need felt. Sometimes you don't want the felt because you have plenty of it like me. Or sometimes you just buy it anyway because you like the colors. And you can see this. This is a really big roll of felt. Now, again, I don't know, you know, whatever you're looking for, you can decide on yourself what you want. But the other thing she does have is felt that has prints. Not a lot. I think most of it's like a polka dot, or I don't know if she has a sparkling one, but look at this one. This is a heathered gray. You don't really find that everywhere. So heathered gray is nice for certain projects, right? Winter projects. This happens to be from the winter bundled up kit. That's why I'm showing it to you. And by the way, the kit has other things like the floss that matches, the sequins, and here we go. You get a box of this stuff. I don't like to do this because I'm lazy. So you can add whatever you want to it. Those are sequins and beads. And I think even some have needles in them. I don't know if she does it every time, but this is from that kit. I purchased this set of 4 separately. There's a pink one missing, and I have it here on my desk because polka dots. Sometimes you just want a little pattern. Oh, and here's the floss that goes with one of these kits. Somehow, I guess I took it out. But anyway, so let me compare some things, right? So I have several colors here, and I did this for a particular reason because of what I'm going to die cut. So all of these rolls, except the white one, all the pink ones, I guess, or blush ones, these come from Pashta Design. You can tell by the amount of felt on this roll, on these rolls. This white one is from Paper Tray Ink. Now, I think Pashtas are 100% wool too, and then the paper tray is also 100%. And very, I can only speak for the paper tray felt because I haven't stitched with the Pashta felt, and that's what I'm going to do for the video. Nice quality. The price point for the paper tray is pretty good, especially when she has a sale. People don't realize when she has a sale that's site-wide, you can buy her felt for a good discount. And she has some very nice colors that coordinate. Now she has a limited color range because Paper Tray Ink matches it to their ink colors. So whatever ink colors they have typically is what their felt colors are. Okay. Whereas Pashta, she only does stitching dies. She doesn't do stamping through her store. She doesn't design stamps on her store. So what you're getting is any sort of color ways that she wants to, invest in. So like I said, all the pink ones are from Pashta's store. You can tell by the size of the roll, and they're not cheap either, by the way. But you get a good amount. So, and then like I said, the quality of the paper tray roll is very nice. I don't have any issues with that. And I think the thickness is about the same. I'm going to hold them up so you can see the difference. And again, you can decide for yourself if that's what you want, okay? So, again, they get them from, different wholesalers. It's not like they make their own felt. But I really like this color. This is a white color that I asked Julie to bring in because of one of the dies that I was putting out. I felt it needed a white. They needed a white in their line. So she brought it in. It's not cream because she does have a cream color. This is white. So if you're looking for a nice bright white, I mean, they don't have a bright white like paper, but because, sheep are not white like this. It's like your teeth are not white like this. That doesn't happen naturally. So this is as close she could get to a white from her distributor. And I like this color for lots of different projects. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so we're going to talk about die cutting felt. And then, of course, dies. So let me show you. This is one of the dies I have purchased from Pashta in one of her kits. I don't know if this is available anymore. This is the Homespun Holiday All Bundled Up kit. This is her inspiration guide, so she provides instructions. And I was going to use this die for some die cutting. And I won't do that on camera. I may record some of it so you can actually see it and fast forward it. But I thought I would use this die and maybe another one that I pulled out, which is a recent one, to do an Easter project. Here's the bunny. Okay, so this is an Ellen Hudson die that just came out. I showed this in a haul. Here's the website for Ellen Hudson. They did this in 2 pieces, so you can use a die to die cut your shapes. I prefer it because I'm not the best freehand stitcher in terms of keeping my holes or my stitches evenly spaced apart. And the more you practice at that, the better you get at it. But I don't want to focus on spending time that way because I like to do lots of different things, not just stitching. Okay, so this die will cut all the holes for you, and this die will cut the shape. So you can basically cut the shape out of your felt, then place this die and cut that felt again with the holes, because I don't think this die will fit inside of this, so you can do it at the same time. Conversely, this die is designed, and this is how some dies can be designed, where you basically will cut them together. So you have the stitch holes and the outline designed together on the die. And I've done them both ways. There's no right and wrong. With her design, she has some drop-in pieces, so you can actually cut out the hat. And there's a label here. Yeah, you can cut out a label and then stitch, you can cut out more pieces that fit inside the label to stitch onto the hat. Really cute, right? Why not? So the thing I want to mention about the dies, and because I've done this, before, I have some experience now with dies and designing dies. If your holes on your stitching die are too close together or too close to the edge of the die, it will cause problems with your felt. Okay? Because felt is, especially wool felt, is really nothing more than, the threads are holding it together. It's not like glued or anything like that. It's the threads of the felt that are holding this all together. And so when you get to die cutting, if the holes of the die are too close to the edge or they are too close together, they will cause your problems with ripping through your felt when you're trying to stitch. Okay. Sometimes when you get a die design like that, you can use fabric stiffener or a fabric glue to help hold that problem together so that you can continue stitching and not have to just, trash your project and start over again. I've seen folks do that or mention that they do that. I haven't personally had a problem with that yet. But I know there are dies out there where sometimes either the die is so small or the stitching lines are too close to the stitching holes are too close together, or they're too close to the edge of that die where your felt just rips. Okay? So it's not just the felt that you should be concerned with, it's also the die itself. And like I said, most of the times I don't have this problem, but there are some I've seen out there that have the stitching holes placed too close together. When it cuts, especially when it passes through your machine, it may shift. That's another problem that can be caused. It may shift and you have to account for that. So just be aware of that when you're doing your die cutting and with the quality of the felt that you use. I don't like the acrylic felt because I think it's too thin and it doesn't hold together well. And if you're looking for something that is going to last as an heirloom or something that you want as a keepsake, why not invest a little bit more into that and then, buy nicer quality so it is a nicer gift for an individual. That's just what I'm saying. Now, you can die cut paper with this, okay? You don't just have to use felt, and you can die cut fabric. I think I've shown that before. Years ago, I did a project with one of my acorn dies. Hold on a second. I think I know where it is. Okay, so I'm back. So this is my acorn die that I designed some years ago. I don't know how many now. This is fabric that has been bonded to felt. So, and that process is easy. It's just, heat and bond is all this is heat and bond between the layers of fabric and felt. So, with this, it makes it stronger. So if you're having a problem with doing that, you can, then now you have different patterns, right? Because you're using fabric. But I like to do that too to help strengthen, but also because you get a nice patterned whatever it is your project is. So let me try not to make this too long. So I'm gonna die cut some of this Pasha Design felt for the project that I want to do, and I'll come back and share with you my stitching thoughts on the quality of this felt, because I haven't used it before. Somebody had asked me a question about it, what I thought, and I'll just give you my opinion on it. I have a feeling that I'm not going to have any issues. The only thing that you might run into a problem with is the size of the roll, okay? Because when you have a roll of felt, you're limited in terms of the die size. So I hope I can do this. I don't know. But this is one of the reasons why I buy sheet felt, because it is wider, right? So you can actually cut, not have to position things weirdly, okay? So this is the Ellen Hudson rabbit die, and if I want to cut this shape, I have to be able to fit it onto my felt. What happens here? Because Ellen Hudson sells her felt as sheets, not in a roll, okay? I think you might be able to just get away with this roll. So, but if you are concerned about the size of it, most stitching dies are not this large, like where you have the ears and then the foot to care for. They're not usually this large. But you know that this roll will fit in a standard die cutting machine. That's the other thing. If your die cutting machine isn't wide enough to handle the sheet, you'll have to cut it down. But the roll is definitely going to fit, okay? In most, I'm going to say a standard big shot, okay? Some people have those little tiny ones. Yeah, you know that this is not going to fit in that. But anyway, That's the other thing I'll mention is, sheet versus roll. Sometimes you'll have a problem fitting the sheet into the die cutting machine. Some dies are bigger, like this one, where you might have a problem with that. But I think this one is just shy of that, or it might cut off some of the ear or the foot at the bottom. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to make a bunny. Actually, that's white. And then I'm going to stitch it with some, I think, some details. Does she have? She doesn't have any ears. Okay. So I'm going to actually, maybe I'll just do it two colors. I don't know. That would be cute, right? Like that. And then, do it as an Easter project. So that's my plan. We'll come back and see how that worked out. But yeah, stay tuned. Okay, I am back. I am getting ready to do some die cutting, but I first thought I would go ahead and show you my sandwich. I am using a Big Shot switch to cut my felt, and I have learned through using this machine that I need to cut it using the two, like here is the adapter plate underneath the plastic plate. I don't use my, what is that, self-healing cutting mat underneath the felt because it doesn't cut through very well. Like I have to actually make more passes, which is equals more work, and I don't like doing extra work when I don't have to or shouldn't have to. So yeah. And then what I use on top is my metal cutting adapter plate or metal plate for extra pressure, and then my plastic plate on top. So that's my sandwich, and you can play with the sandwich in your machine, whatever you're die cutting with. This is the switch, so I can actually, I have a bigger platform to cut on, and I'm going to try and do more, obviously fit more dies on here as I can. I will probably do more than one pass through, so I'll go in all the way through and put it again. So I'll probably do 2 full passes. Instead of reversing, well, actually I could reverse it out because there is some space here for me to reverse it back, which would, obviously help me in terms of not having to do a lot of die cutting. That's the whole point of the machine, right? If you're using a manual Big Shot, obviously you can roll in and back out again. That's up to you. Or if you're using some other die cutting machine, do what you need to do to get it cut. So I'm actually going to, I don't know, I guess I'll film it, and then you guys can decide whether you want to watch that part or speed up. I'm going to change the camera angle, and my die cutting machine in my desk is very messy. So there's my die cutting machine. I'm going to feed my sandwich in there. It's already on. And I'm doing this behind the camera, so hopefully I don't get in the way. So I'm waiting for it to catch. You can hear the machine going. My things are warped. My plates are warped, but it should still be okay. Now I'm going to reverse it. I'm not going to open this up yet because I'm going to pass it through one more time. Okay? And I'll do that off camera. Okay, so I am back. I've taken this out of the die cutter, and we'll see how we did. As you can see with the felt roll, I positioned my die in a certain position, and I taped it down because I didn't want to shift it, and before I did my die cutting, and that is just because I knew I'd have to pull the felt out, or I'm sorry, the plates out, and I didn't want it to shift. And if I had to die cut again and again, I didn't want that to be a problem. So I taped it down. You don't want your tape to be all over your cut piece, the piece you want, because when you remove the tape, it may cause the felt to sort of become unraveled because again, it's wool felt. This has a print on it, but you know, it can become unraveled. Now I have to die cut this again to get my stitch lines. If you're good at sewing and you don't mind uneven stitches, or you have perfect stitching, I say go for it, or you can cheat and use the holes. So this one has the holes designed with it. You can see there's a lot of little pieces that are left inside. You can do a number of things. I actually, I'm not going to do it over top of my thing, but you can use your finger and just sort of do like that, and sometimes they'll fall out. You can see that they're falling out there. See, all the holes are clear now. You can do it like that. That's faster, or you can use a tool to do it to remove the little hanging chads of felt. Depends on how you want to do it. Because it is felt, you know, obviously you want to be careful around those stitching holes. I usually use a tool like this where it has a little ball at the end to do that. Now this one's too big. I have one that's smaller. And this is usually, this is a tool used for shaping flowers. In fact, this manufacturer, this one, see, it's a 2 millimeter ball on the one end and then a 6 on the other. The 6 is obviously too big, but you can use that to push them through too. And then obviously this felt die cut really well. This blue felt is also from Pashta Design. I thought I would go ahead and try this out, and of course the design itself is from her as well. So I won't do all these on the video with you, but you can see that's working just fine. And then to clean my desk, I usually use my lint roller. Do not use the lint roller on your felt. Okay, don't do that, okay, because it will cause it, the stickiness will cause it to unravel. So don't use it on your felt. I'm just using it to pick up all the stuff on my desk. That's it. So I have that, and then I have this as part of the hat die. Again, I taped it down so it wouldn't shift, because I cut my felt to put in through the machine so I could fit more die pieces on while I was cutting, so I could do more at one time. So this is the little pom-pom for the hat, and then this is the little trim for the hat. Now I am going to make this you know, something like a tag or an ornament. So sometimes what I like to do, and I'll just mention this for those of you who are interested, sometimes what I like to do is die cut the paper as the backing if I'm going to just give it as a tag. I don't know which way this goes. If I'm just going to give it as a tag so I can stamp a to and from on the back, so I'll die cut it from paper and stitch the paper to the felt. If I want to make it an ornament, I will die cut another piece of felt. And I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. So there's that. And I also have this little heart I can put on the hat too, but I think I'll use a button because a button is cuter. So those extra pieces of felt, I will keep like something like this piece because I cut it around. You can see I cut it around here. This piece I won't keep, but this piece I will, because something like that little button that you saw, or the pom-pom, could be used to cut, could be used for that. So I don't trash that altogether. This same thing, I will keep this in the bag of felt that I have. So this is the paper tray roll. I'll keep the roll in here, and then any scraps that I have I'll also put in here too, of the same color, so I know what it is. For the bunny, like I said, I have to cut the die cut holes and also the back piece, because I'm going to make that one a what do you call it, a ornament, or a what do you call it, stuffed ornament. Okay, so here's the piece of white felt. I'm going to use the white for the backing of the rabbit instead of using my limited amount of polka dot pink felt as the backer. And when you're doing this, it's probably a good idea to look at your felt, see if there's any weird inconsistencies in it. And I did find one, this is wool felt, so it is not perfect. If you look closely, there's a brown hair that is inside of the felt. It's not my hair. My hair is not this color. It's probably a natural piece of the wool that's used to make it, right? Even if it isn't, I can't get that out. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to turn this piece of felt over and use this side, because this side is much better. Sometimes there's a weird thing with the felt, so that's why I'm saying it's a natural product. Look at it before you die cut it, and then put your die down. So that's what I'm going to do, because that piece will be on the inside. Okay. Wait, maybe not. This piece will be on the inside. So there's that hair. It's right in the middle of the die cut, or where the die cut would be. And when I sandwich the two together, this is what you're going to have. You won't see that piece because it'll be on the inside of the rabbit, okay, when I stitch it together. So I'm going to tape this one too, so it doesn't shift as I put it through the die cutter. And then I'm also going to die cut the holes in the rabbit. The other rabbit I've already die cut. Because like I said, I don't think they fit together. I'm going to remove it off the sheet. You're getting two things in one for this. So here's the holes. And I don't know why. I think they designed it separately so you could use it for paper crafting and you could use it for stitching too. So for example, if I were to die cut these two together, the holes would probably not get enough pressure to cut through the felt, because the die itself is sitting on the outline. It's sitting on that outline itself, the metal outline. So I would not recommend doing them together like that. Okay, so I can, though, because I have a bigger machine or a bigger sandwich plate, I can center this on my pink layer. Let me push it up so you can actually see it. I can center this on my pink layer and die cut the holes. Okay. So just be aware of when you're doing that. And I can tape this. I don't normally, again, recommend doing this, but don't do a lot of tape, because again, it will cause your felt to unravel when you go to remove this. So what I like to do is, as I do this, what I'm going to do is the tape position is going to be over the die, and then taping the felt and the plate itself. So it won't shift on the plate. Okay. So most of it is covering, it's on top of the die and the plate as opposed to on the felt. So you can do that to help kind of keep the tape off of that and help it to not shift. The way this is done is you see these pieces right here are the extra pieces of felt that I'm not going to use. So I'm okay with it doing that. It's not inside of the body of the rabbit, if you get what I'm saying there. So I'm making sure that my rabbit's going to be covered in terms of the felt. And then I'm going to put it through the die cut machine. If I can find my sandwich pieces. Okay. So there we go. I'll be back. I'll do this off camera without showing you. Okay, before I show you the die cut pieces, I wanted to mention one other thing that I think frustrates a lot of people. The felt that gets stuck in the holes. Don't go through and pick each one out with your little sharp pointy tool. I do that. I was doing that before, but you don't have to do it that way. The fastest way to do it, I found, is again to use the lint brush and die side face up, right? The cutting side face up with where you have the whole felt chad stuck in there. Go through and just roll your lint brush over the holes. I've seen people use hair brushes to try and poke them out. This is the fastest way I've found. I just got a new piece of the lint roll up. You see how much is on there already? You can see the rabbit even. So I just do this. It's a lot faster than picking each one out of the hole. And it gets most of them. Sometimes you have to put a little bit pressure on it to get them out. But this is much faster than having to poke each and every hole out. When you do this enough times, you get tired of having to poke. There are a few in there, but for the most part, it's there. So I actually have to die cut one more, which is this guy. And I will do that off camera, and then I'll bring you back my thoughts. Hey guys, so I'm back. I have die cut my felt for both of my projects, and I just want to share my thoughts on the Pasha Design. Is it Pasha Design? Felt. Okay, so pretty much the same. I think it's this, you know, just as good quality as the paper tray felt. This is paper tray felt right here. Okay, the thickness of the felt is the same from what I can see. So you can see this two together. They die cut great. No issues at all with my die cutter. You saw me with a sample of the cutting. This is an Ellen Hudson die, so it works with lots of different, you know, manufacturers, I'm assuming. You know, not an issue with the dies themselves at all. The holes, we'll see how we do with the stitching. I think it'll be fine. This is going to be one cute bunny. I did the hat as well. The hat is done. This is a design from Pashta. This is her felt though. This blue one right here is her felt as the base, and then the white is the paper tray felt that I showed you earlier. Now I chose not to do the back with felt. I chose to use paper, and it's from this Honeybee Stamps Bee Bliss pad, and it's basically because I could find the color to match the hat. So here's the scrap piece I have. You can see there's little blue dots in it, and the tone of the blue is about the same as the hat. So I'm going to make this one into a tag that I can attach to a gift. And so if I turn this over, because it's not stitched together, you're going to see the back side. These will fall apart, but there's the back side. So what I can do before I stitch them, before you stitch them together, do all your stamping, make sure it's what you want it to be, and then you'll be good to go once you stitch together. So I'm going to stamp a to and from here on this part before I do any stitching, simply because, you know, having the extra layer underneath of the felt might cause a bump or something like that. So I don't want it to do that and cause an issue with my stamping. So we'll do that first. All right. I'm not going to stitch these on camera. I don't think I don't know if that's useful for you guys. I used to do those for the dies that I have designed in my Facebook group. Not my Facebook group, but Paper Tray Inc.'s Facebook group. But since I took a step back and I'm not designing dies now, just due to workload, really, and other things that were going on at the time, I'm not designing dies at this time. So I just thought I'd go ahead and share with you this because somebody had requested it. Like I said, I'm probably not going to use this little heart. I'll probably find a heart button to put on my little hat here because it's just too cute. But anyway, that's it for now. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If there's something else you would like to see regarding this, or just if you have a request, just let me know and I'll see what I can do. Thanks for watching, and sorry this video was so long, but I hope it was useful for those of you who are interested in stitching, are interested in the quality of the felts, different felts that I have. But yeah, just leave any comments if you have a question on something. So I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.